Hello everybody, in this lesson we're going to see how we can group and aggregate our data in R. Now we're working with the exact same data set that we were in the previous lessons, but if you don't have it yet, then you can get this data set down below in the GitHub. You just have to download it and you'll be able to work with it along with me. Now we also need this library dplyr. Let's go ahead and run both of these. So we've loaded our library and we've read in our file. Let's open up our file so we can take a look. Here we have our character, we have the department that they work in, their role, their annual salary, and dogs rescued with 3 legs. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be grouping on our data and then looking at aggregations. For example, we have a lot of people who work in the parks department. And let's say we want to know what's the average salary of someone who works at the parks department. Right now, just looking at this data, we don't know. We could kind of guess maybe it's like 50 some thousand, but we don't know for certain. And so that's what group by and aggregations in general within R are used for. Let's go in here and let's see how we can write this. In the last lesson, we learned about the pipe operator, and we're going to be using that again. So we're going to write it just like this. We're going to take our data frame, and then we're going to write our group by first. So the group by says we want to take a specific column, put it all into one row, and then perform an aggregation on it. So our group by is grouping the values right here in this department. So let's say group, and we're going to do underscore by, and we're going to do this based off of the department. And then we'll use another pipe right here, and we'll go down. Now we need to actually aggregate our data. Now we do this with summarize. Summarize allows us to use sum, median, whatever it is, and do it on whatever column we choose. Now it has to be, except if we just use a count, typical aggregations need to be on some type of numeric column. Now I'm going to show you the one where we don't have to do that. That would just be n. That's going to be a count. And let's run this. So you're going to see right down here in our output, we have city management, health, and parks. So we have 2, 1, and then 7. This is just getting a count. So we don't have to specify a column that's numeric because we're just counting the rows. We're not counting a specific column. You'll also notice that we have this n and then in parentheses for our column name. If we were to save this to a data frame, then it would have n with the parentheses like that. We can change that by saying count is equal to. So we're going to assign these counts and assign it the name of count. So if you run this, now we have count right here. Now that is the most simple one. It's just a classic count. But let's take a look at, let's say, an average. So we're going to copy this, and now we're going to get the average of the salary. So we're going to say mean, and mean means average within R, and then we're going to do annual underscore salary. Now, if we run this, we're going to take a look at the average salaries within each department. So within our parks department, it's 54,571. Health only has one person, as we know, so that's going to be 60,000. And then city management is 90,000. This is something that is really important when you're doing aggregations, because right here, if you only had this information, you don't really know how many people are in each of these departments. Maybe it's only 2 people. Maybe it's 3. Maybe it's 100. Maybe it's 10,000. It is important to know when you're doing aggregations, especially with something like an average, how many numbers or how many data points are behind these numbers. We are actually able to add multiple. So if I put a comma there, then I go right down here and I say count is equal to the n, I can run this. And in this aggregation, it doesn't change the department or the annual salary, but now we have an additional aggregation that we've added. And we can do that for as many as we'd like. We can do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of aggregations. That would be perfectly acceptable. So let's take a look at some other aggregations, and we're just going to add them in here. And we can always name them. This one, of course, says mean annual salary, but I could call this average underscore salary is equal to. And I need to find that equal to. And then when we run this in just a second, it will work. But we have other types of aggregations. We can do the minimum of our annual salary. And if we run this, it'll give us the smallest salary within each department. So we have department, average salary right here, the count, and then we have our minimum salary. Here's the minimum amount that someone makes in each of these. Conversely, we can also do the maximum salary. Let's go ahead and do the max. And we're just going to keep stacking these aggregations all on the department. But this is the most that somebody makes within that department. Now, we also have another interesting one. And this is one that I think gets overlooked a lot, but that's going to be median. Median gets the exact middle point of your aggregation. So let's put in annual salary here, and I'll explain this in just a sec. We're actually getting a few too many of these aggregations. Let's put this into a data frame. So I'm going to say aggregation data frame. We're going to assign this. And let's run this right here, and let's open it up. So here we have our median annual salary, and this says 90,000. Let's go back and let's take a look. Let's just take a look at city management. This only has 2 values. If it had 3 values, it would take the one in the middle, but we only have 2. So what it does is it takes those 2 middle points, it takes the average of those 2 middle points, which is going to be 90,000. Now 60,000, we already know what happens there, but 52,000 is the one that's interesting to us. So let's order by the salary and then the department. So now we have 25,000 all the way up to 90. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is an odd number, which means it has a middle point, which is going to be 4. So if we go 1, 2, 3, and 4, this is the middle point of our data. If we go back to this data frame, 52,000 is our median right here. Now, as I've gotten more into data analysis and working with numbers, I find myself using median a lot because average has the possibility, it doesn't always, but it has the possibility of skewing some numbers. Let's say, for example, in our data frame, we had Ron Swanson, and he's making $10 million or $100 million. If we went and aggregated and just looked at the average would be like $20 million or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a number. But the average would be insanely high, but only one person actually makes that much in the department. If we took a look at the median is still going to be 52,000 because that's the middle point of the data. And so depending on what type of analysis you're doing, depending on what you're looking for, average and median can show you and give you different insights into the data. So it's just one to be aware of and to use wisely. Let's go back and take a look at our data. And so that is how we group and aggregate our data. And again, you can do multiple aggregations. If you want to go even more in depth on grouping and aggregating data within R, I have a full R for data analytics course on analystbuilder.com. I will have a link in the description if you want to check it out, as well as a coupon code, just in case you want to take it. With that being said, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you learned something, and I will see you in the next lesson.